Today we're talking about dynamic duos, and my next two guests purely embody that people are stronger together. Leanne Langdon and Lauren McNutt have been best friends for 3 decades, sharing a lifetime of memories together, never thinking that one day they would also share the scariest diagnosis of their lifetimes, finding out just days apart from each other that they both had breast cancer. Here's their story.
Lane and I have been best friends for 30 years. We were in the same class in 3rd grade. We realized we lived in the same neighborhood, and we've been best friends ever since.
Lauren and I have shared so many experiences, from dating to graduation to traveling, weddings and babies, and we've had so many laughs along the way. On January 19th, 2021, my doctor found a lump during my annual exam and ordered some additional testing. I remember not being worried because I had no family history or any other issues. And I texted Lauren to tell her about it, and she told me she had also found a lump during a self-exam. And from there, we were on the same schedule of mammograms, ultrasounds, biopsies, and ultimately we found out within 2 days of each other that we had both been diagnosed with breast cancer.
I remember when I first got the news, I just ran straight upstairs to tell my husband. I was in shock. I fell to the floor crying, and honestly just spent the rest of the day in tears.
I just remember sobbing and my husband trying to comfort me. You know, you'd never wish this on anybody, but it was such a huge sigh of relief knowing that someone who I knew so well and loved would be there going through this with me.
And now I'm just so thankful that we had each other through this.
Wow. I am happy to share that Lauren and Leanne are now cancer-free, and they say that they are breasties for life. Tan fam, please welcome Lauren and Leanne to the show. I love that you call each other breasties now, not just besties. I am tearing up, Lauren, because I've had the same best friend since I was about 4 or 5 years old. And watching you on this journey, it just got me. You got your diagnosis first, and you did not tell her because you knew she was going in for her exam. I know when I'm having a bad day, outside of my husband, my back call goes to my best friend. So you weren't even going to tell her.
No, honestly, that week, I slow played her. I knew she was already going to be so anxious because I remember how I felt going into it. I think we were both like naive and cautiously optimistic. You know, I have aunts that have had cysts that were drained and it was no big deal. So we were like, it's no big deal. People have, you know, mammograms and ultrasounds all the time. So I honestly just didn't want to add to her anxiety. So she kind of reached out a few times that week and I was like, oh, still waiting to hear back.
What was that like hiding it from her? I know you guys share a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
And you did not tell her this.
It was hard, but you know, luckily we have great support system at home. So I had my husband, I could tell my mom. So I really leaned on them because I didn't want to add that stress to her. So I was like, I'm going to wait.
That's a sign of a great friend, right? Because you could have called her and said, you know, but you were thinking of her first.
Yeah.
So Leanne, you went in a few days after.
Yeah, 2 days after. And so we always joke that Lauren's 2 business days ahead of me because she got her diagnosis on a Tuesday and I found out on a Thursday.
How did you eventually share the news? Because she's been holding her news. You got your news.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I remember that like it was yesterday. I did the math and I was like, okay, it's Friday. She's probably gonna find out today. So I texted her and I said, hey, when you get your news, give me a call. She called me immediately and I thought, oh no, that can't be a good sign. And she said, okay, I have my results. And I said, me too. And I said, why don't you go first? And she said, I have cancer. And I said, oh, me too, but good news, I've already met with 2 doctors. Like, I know our plan, like, let's go. So
you are
it was
incredible.
a weird mix of emotions.
I mean, you both are remarkably strong because I'm sitting here putting myself in that situation. You both are holding results that you both know. Say you have cancer and you're about to tell your lifelong friend. When did it sink in? Wait a minute, did she just say what I think she said?
Yeah, it was, you know, my immediate reaction was, no, oh my God, no. And then it was, oh, good. I have somebody with me, right? I mean, it was like a huge sigh of relief to know that there would be someone there who I trusted and I loved.
You never know, you know, when you become friends with someone, and we meet friends in strange places throughout our lives and in school, and You don't know where that journey is going to take you. And then this journey takes you to, I'm sure, the most challenging moment of your lives. And she knows you better than anybody.
Yeah.
How did that help the process? Because it's one thing to think, oh, good. But now it's to be in it together.
Yeah.
How did she help?
We are so vulnerable with each other to begin with. I mean, she saw me through my parents' divorce. She saw me when my mom got remarried. I stayed at her house when they were on their honeymoon. So we had been through trials and tribulations, but obviously nothing like this. But I was already able to be vulnerable with her. So it didn't faze me to say, hey, during treatment, are you going through this? Are you having this symptom? And even as recently as last night, she's like, hey, this is a lump I had checked out. It's totally fine. Do you have anything like that? And we're taking our tops off and feeling each other. Like, you can only do that with so many people in your lives. Yeah.
You know, I was struck by that photo. Can we put it back up of both of you receiving chemo? There you are, your hair.
Very bald.
All of the worries that come with that treatment. You're there together with smiles.
Yeah.
Could you have pictured this journey without her? And that's such a weird thing to ask because it is something you don't wish for anyone.
No. And I think that, you know, cancer is always very challenging. Going through treatment is very challenging. Add COVID on top of that. You can bring anybody to the treatment facilities with you to your appointments. And so to have my best friend there, and, you know, I think the nurses kind of secretly loved us because we were always causing ruckus. We have, you know, we bring board games to play. We're laughing. We're telling
You're the
stories.
troublemakers,
We are
right.
the troublemakers.
Guilty.
And I think, you know, the infusion center can be a very depressing place, but you can see here, like, we try to make the best of it.
Lauren, I know we have video of you ringing the bell when you received your last chemo treatment. Let's play it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Yes!
A little bit extra, huh?
I am truly in awe of both of you. I really am. So what's the takeaway, I guess, when, you know, it's hard to meet friends later in life. It's hard to keep friendships going, all these real things. Yours started early in life. You're still here together. What's the takeaway about that power of having someone?
You know, I think that, you know, no matter what you're going through, if you have the support around you, it makes it so much easier. I think going through this and having someone who, like she said, we could be vulnerable together. We could lift each other up when we were having bad days, and we did. I think that it just reminds you that, you know, to lean on your community, and with your friends and family, you can get through anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I should point out before we go, I love this even more. You live in Cincinnati, and you live how far apart?
Probably a mile.
Yeah, maybe
a mile, just a mile away from each other, so you can walk over and hang out anytime. I love that. Well, thank you so much. Please remember, ladies, to get your annual mammogram screenings for early detection. It could save your life.